one bad thing about putting you still here, Granny.
What's that?
Drysdale place is downwind. The smell of your corn liquor or brewing is going to drive poor Miss Drysdale right out of her mind. She's a drinking woman.
How do you know, Uncle Jay?
Well, he kind of let it slip out. Remember when we was unloading this from the truck?
Yeah?
He says to me, what's that? I said, that's a still for making corn liquor. He turned kind of white and trembly, and he says, oh, please don't ever let my wife see that. I reckon she just can't leave the stuff alone.
Some folks like that. Terrible.
Come to think of it, that's how come she's in Boston.
What kind of drinking?
Yeah. Miss Hathaway says she goes all over every place looking to get cured.
Them silly cures no good. The minute you go to taking it away from them, they want it all the more. I could cure Mrs. Drysdale of her drinking in 2 days.
How, Granny?
I just tell her she could have all she wanted. When they find out you don't care if they drink, they don't care to drink.
That sure would be a blessing. Over here, Ellie, now. No more talk about drinking.
Hey, look, everybody. Ella Mae's wearing a dress.
How, Mr. Drysdale's in the house to see you.
All right. My, ain't she pretty?
Yeah. But, Ellie, you're showing too much bare hop.
Well, that ain't her fault, Granny. She just got the dress on backwards. Ellie, honey, put it on the other way around.
All right.
Hold it. Hold on. What kind of a dress is that?
Well, Miss Hathaway says it's a California sundress.
Let no son of mine wear it. My daughter neither. Granny, you'd best get her into something decent whilst I talk to Mr. Drysdale.
Uncle Jay, can I go swimming in the cement pond?
Oh, I reckon so, Jethro. But this ain't like the swimming hole back home. You can't go in there without no clothes on.
I can't?
No, sir.
Okay, Uncle Jay.
Someday I gotta have a long talk with that boy.
Drysdale's office, Miss Hathaway speaking. Boston. That must be Mrs. Drysdale. No, don't put her on. She'll only make my life Mrs. Drysdale. How are you? How are things in Boston?
Oh, the doctors here are just as silly as the ones in Beverly Hills. They insist there's nothing wrong with me. They've got me so depressed. I just had to call and talk to my darling. Are you taking good care of him?
Oh, yes. As a matter of fact, he's stretched out on the sofa right now having his nap.
How sweet. Well, the moment he wakens, you take his temperature and give him some of that blue medicine. What? He's waking now? Oh, marvelous. Put him on. Tell him Mumsy wants to hear his sweet voice.
Speak to your mumsy. He whined.
Oh, he probably has a migraine. Oh, poor Richard, my lord.
Even made a hypochondriac out of you. Any message for Mr. Drysdale?
Who? Oh, Melvin, my husband. Yes, well, is he there?
No, he's up at the Clampett estate. Clampett. They bought the place next to yours just about the time you left for Boston.
I don't find them listed in the first families. You tell Milburn not to mingle with them socially until I've had a genealogical check run on them. We don't want riffraff living under our very noses.
For pain, one swaller. Don't open near fire.
I'll be right in, Mr. Drysdale.
Thank you, Ellie Mae. Granny, this is quite an array of medicines you have here.
Yep, them's all the remedies I made myself.
I wish you'd make something to help my wife. She's a terrible hypochondriac.
Oh,
What's a hypochondriac?
you run along now. I'll join you directly.
Yeah, she goes from doctor to doctor to doctor.
Well, I reckon the doctor can't help what's ailing her.
Of course they can. It's psychosomatic. But she insists on prescriptions. Oh, I wish you could see our bedroom. Bottles all over the place. I plead with her. I hide the stuff. She always finds it or gets more. You think that's a lot of bottles? You should see my wife after a trip to the pharmacy. Why, she's so loaded she can hardly stagger up the stairs.
Sit down, Mr. Drysdale sets herself.
And she has a dog. A perfectly healthy poodle. Now, would you believe that she
Don't tell me.
laps it up just like she does?
Lord, you're sure toting a heavy burden. Now, maybe I can help you. Now, if she was to think that every time that she was to...
You can just wear that barrel till your clothes get dry.
What happened to Jethro? Get too close to a skunk?
He jumped in the pond with his clothes on. Mr. Drysdale, I'm sorry to kept you waiting. Did Granny tell you about her complaints about the kitchen?
Jed, I'm ashamed to mention my piddling troubles to a man bowed down with the misery he's got. You know his wife.
Mr. Drysdale, our hearts go out to you.
And we're going to help you, ain't we, Jed?
You bet you we are. Man serves a poor purpose in this world if he can't help his neighbor.
Oh, you're very kind, but I'll manage. I've been living with it for years.
Have a nip, it'll brace you up.
Oh, no, thank you. I never touch it.
You hear that, Jed? Poor man. He's got all the trouble and none of the fun.
There goes a soft-hearted woman.
Yeah. Now, about her complaints.
Oh, yeah. Well, for one thing, that electric meat grinder has been giving Granny a heap of trouble.
Electric meat grinder?
Yeah, listen right here in the dish trough. Oh, it grinds the meat all right, but then you can't find it. It goes down that pipe. Granny lost 2 squirrels and a rabbit in that thing.
That's a disposal. You only put things in there that you don't want.
Now, Mr. Drysdale, that ain't altogether true. Granny sure wanted them squirrels and that rabbit. And another thing, this here sideways pump don't work at all. We must have carried in a barrel of water to prime that thing, but it just doesn't work. Oh, there's another thing. Every once in a while, this little thingamajig here makes a ringing noise like that. There it goes again.
Well, that's the telephone. Someone's calling you.
I don't hear him.
They're calling you on the telephone. Say hello into it.
Hello.
Have to snip the receiver first. Now say it. Hello.
Mr. Clampetts?
He said my name. Can he see through this thing?
No.
Mr. Clampetts, may I please speak to Mr. Drysdale?
Well, they sure can see, or else how would they know you're standing here?
That's my secretary. She knows I'm here. Yes, Miss Hathaway.
Mr. Drysdale, I have some messages.
But I'll be doggone. Granny! Hey, me! Come look what we got!
The Clampetts have just discovered the telephone. Indeed, this is a marvelous invention. With this instrument, you can talk to anyone, any place in the civilized world.
We talk to my cousin Pearl?
Oh, yes, of course.
Right now?
Yes?
Ellie Mae, run out back and fetch Jethro. Oh, wait a minute. He might not have his clothes on yet.
Oh, I'll get him.
Jed, is he greening us? Can we honest to goodness talk to Pearl on this thing?
You heard what he said.
Hello, Pearl, you old rascal. What you doing back there?
Hi, there ain't from this here Dallas.
Now, ladies, first, you gotta fix this thing up.
Hello, Pearl, you old rascal. What you doing back there?
Hi, there ain't from this here Dallas.
What's she saying?
Ain't saying a word. You're just humming.
Chinese humming it too. Shut up, humming, and say something.
Jethro will be right in. You ready to call Pearl?
You've been a calling, but you just hummed.
That's a dial tone. First, you've got to dial long distance like this. Okay.
Howdy, Pearl.
Hello, Pearl, you old rascal. What you doing back there?
Hi, there ain't from this here Dallas.
This is long distance.
We know that, Pearl.
Oh, I believe you have the operator. What's Pearl's number?
Number?
Operator.
Just a moment.
Hey, folks, Mr. Drysdale told me what y'all was up to. You can't talk to Ma on that thing.
Well, look who's getting too smart for his britches.
Too big for him, too.
Mr. Drysdale says we can talk to her.
Yeah, you think you know more than Mr. Drysdale?
Well, I know Ma ain't got no telephone.
Excuse me, call operator.
You sure small things. Yeah, who asked you to butt in?
I'll get it. I know what to do when it does that. Hello? Yeah, he's here. Well, for goodness sake. Well, sure. Well, howdy there, Miss Drysdale. This here is...
Margaret! Oh, how wonderful. What? Man? Oh, yes, the telephone man. Well, how are you?
I'm worried. That's how I am. I'm afraid, Milburn, that you've let the wrong kind of people move in next door to us, and I'm dreadfully upset.
Now, dear, you mustn't let yourself get into this condition. Control yourself. No, dear, you mustn't come home yet. No, not until we get them in shape. I mean, get you in shape. You know, we'll wait until you're cute.
Milburn, I want to meet the Clampetts as soon as possible. Now, when will that be?
What about Christmas? Next year.
Milburn, this conversation is making less and less sense. Now, I want the truth about the Clampetts, or I'm flying home immediately.
Now, Margaret, please control yourself. I don't want you flying. No, please, dear, please, stay on the ground. Dear, why don't you lie down and take a sedative? And I'll call you from the office. Goodbye. I'm sorry, my wife.
We understand.
Well, I'll see you later.
Keep your chin up.
Poor man.
Would it just tear your heart out? He is so ashamed of his wife, he don't even want us to meet her.
What he says, she won't be cured till Christmas of next year.
You gotta help him, Granny.
I still say I could cure Mrs. Drysdale in 2 days.
Sure be worth a try. If we could get her out here.
Kid, misery loves company. And if that poor, miserable woman thought that she had a drinking friend living next door...
Granny, you ain't ever down more than a thimbleful in your whole life.
I know, kid. But it'd be worth a little white lie to help a neighbor and save a marriage.
But how? Hello? Yes, ma'am. Oh, he got a stroke of luck, Granny. It's Mrs. Drysdale again. Well, no, ma'am, he ain't here, Miss Drysdale, but Granny and me'd like to talk to you. We's your next-door neighbors, the Clampetts.
Listen, honey, I got my still set up not 50 feet from your back door. Now, you come on home, and you and me will get glassy-eyed, falling down crocked. We'll get juiced at eyeballs. How does that sound to you, honey?
I don't hear nothing.
Me neither.